Welcome to American Times, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you are new here, do not forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can never miss an update. Why are there not more people talking about the high-stakes showdown unfolding in the West Philippine Sea? The West Philippine Sea is a vital artery for global trade and a flashpoint where international law collides with historical ambition. China claims nearly all of it, overlapping with the Philippines. But in 2016, an international tribunal ruled against China's sweeping claims. Still, Chinese ships have harassed Philippine boats for years, threatening fishermen and livelihoods. Then, the Philippine Navy made a calculated move, an act of defiance that shifted the dynamic. The rules of the game had changed. This is the story of that turning point. Meet the BRP Sierra Madre, a rusting World War II-era ship intentionally grounded on Second Thomas Shoal in 1999. It's more than a relic. It's a symbol of Philippine sovereignty, manned by Marines who endure isolation to hold the line. China wants the ship gone, maintaining a blockade to starve out the Philippine presence. Every resupply mission is a dangerous confrontation, but each success reaffirms the Philippines' claim. The Sierra Madre stands as a line in the sand, a fortress of resolve, and proof that sovereignty is defended by unwavering presence. On the day of the shock, a routine resupply mission began. Two small boats, escorted by the Philippine Coast Guard, facing the usual Chinese blockade. But this time, as Chinese ships closed in, a new element appeared, a fast-moving Philippine Navy RHIB, carrying an elite team. While the Chinese focused on the main convoy, the RHIB skirted the blockade, using speed and surprise to reach the Sierra Madre. The Chinese cutters were too slow to react. In minutes, the team delivered critical supplies and rotated troops, a textbook special operations maneuver. The Chinese were caught off guard. Their blockade, built on overwhelming force, was bypassed. This wasn't just about supplies. It was a strategic victory. The Philippines proved the blockade had a fatal flaw. They refused to play by China's rules, using speed and ingenuity to outmaneuver a superior force. A defense analyst summed it up: a blockade is only as good as its weakest point. The psychological impact was immediate. China's aura of control was shattered. The world saw that determination and creativity could trump brute strength. The Philippines had rewritten the playbook. The mission was over before China realized what happened. The message was clear: Manila would not be boxed in. The balance of power had shifted, if only for a moment. The gamble paid off, and the world took notice. The Chinese Coast Guard was left confused and frustrated. Their strategy relied on escalation control, using non-lethal force to intimidate, expecting the Philippines to back down. But they underestimated Filipino ingenuity and pride. Lacking modern equipment, the Philippine Navy turned to asymmetric tactics: speed, surprise, and local knowledge. The successful mission exposed China's vulnerability and shattered its image of invincibility. The world saw that China's control was not absolute. A regional expert put it best: China wants to win without fighting. The Philippines just changed the game. Beijing now faces a dilemma: escalate and risk conflict, or accept that their blockade isn't foolproof. The bold action forced China to rethink its approach. The underdog had landed a blow, introducing new unpredictability into the standoff. The situation had become far more complex for Chinese planners. For the Philippines, this was not aggression. It was survival and a legitimate exercise of sovereign rights. Second Thomas Shoal lies well within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, affirmed by international law and the 2016 tribunal ruling. Manila's stance is clear: this is settled law, not up for negotiation. The government files diplomatic protests, condemning China's harassment and obstruction. President Marcos Jr. declared, "I will not abandon even 1 square inch of Philippine territory." The issue is deeply personal. Fishermen losing access, energy security at stake, and livelihoods threatened. The fight for the West Philippine Sea is a patriotic duty, celebrated as a moment of national pride. The mission was a signal. The Philippines will not be a passive victim. A naval officer put it simply, "We have a duty. We will not be deterred." This resolve is the core of the Philippine perspective. Rights must be defended, even with creative risks. The nation stands united behind its claim. To understand China's actions, look at their map. A U-shaped 9-dash line claiming nearly the entire South China Sea. Beijing insists on historical rights, dismissing the 2016 tribunal ruling as a Western ploy. The BRP Sierra Madre is seen by China as an illegal provocation, not a symbol of sovereignty. China's Coast Guard enforces what it sees as domestic law, projecting power to secure shipping lanes and create a strategic buffer. Artificial islands and military bases cement China's long-term ambitions. The Philippine Navy's success is viewed as a direct challenge to China's authority. Allowing defiance risks emboldening other claimants. Chinese state media frames the incident as a dangerous provocation by the Philippines. This narrative justifies their aggressive actions to both domestic and international audiences. For Beijing, backing down is not an option. The standoff is about more than territory. It's about national pride and regional dominance. The shadow of the 9-dash line looms over every move. The world watched the events at 2nd Thomas Shoal unfold. The U.S. quickly reaffirmed its support for the Philippines, warning that attacks could trigger the Mutual Defense Treaty. Japan, Australia, the UK, and the EU voiced concern and support for international law. These reactions internationalized the conflict, turning it into a test for the rules-based order. Military cooperation increased. Joint patrols and exercises with allies sent a message of deterrence to China. ASEAN's response was mixed, reflecting internal divisions, but the Philippine action forced a regional conversation. The Philippines was no longer just asking for help, it was showing resolve. The world's attention made it harder for China to act unchecked. The incident highlighted the stakes for global security and freedom of navigation. The Philippines' boldness inspired allies and unsettled adversaries. The region's balance was shifting. The world was watching, and the message was clear. The status quo could no longer be taken for granted. The conflict had become everyone's concern. In the aftermath, the atmosphere in the West Philippine Sea changed. The Chinese flotilla remained, but their confidence was shaken. Manila capitalized, releasing images of the operation and rallying national pride. The hashtag #Atenang West Philippine Sea trended, reflecting renewed spirit. The mission proved the value of asymmetric tactics, speed, agility, and unpredictability. The Philippines will likely invest in fast attack craft, drones, and special operations training. The goal? Make China's aggression costly and unpredictable. Diplomatically, the Philippines gained leverage, showing allies it was a capable partner. The proactive stance made Manila a more attractive ally, increasing support from the US and Japan. The game had changed. Manila was now on offense. The world took notice of the new resolve. The future of the West Philippine Sea is uncertain. The Philippine Navy's operation was a tactical win, but the strategic challenge remains. China is patient and resourceful. It won't be deterred by one setback. The risk of escalation is real. One mistake could spark a wider conflict. The world watches each resupply mission, hoping restraint prevails. The Philippines must sustain momentum, combining diplomacy, law, and credible deterrence. The U.S. alliance is central. but a broader coalition is needed to isolate China. The West Philippine Sea is a test of whether law or might will rule. The Philippine Navy's actions sent a message. The rule of law is worth defending. The waters ahead are stormy, but for now, a line has been held. The world waits to see who will make the next move.